I was tempted to film in the toilets because I always film in hotel toilets and they're amazing here at the Langham. I think I filmed in them before. I'm in the Langham, very excited because I'm going to be meeting Alex Chantecaille. She is the daughter of Madame Chantecaille, who started this extraordinary cosmetic house, one of the few remaining cosmetic houses that hasn't gone into a massive conglomeration with Estee Lauder, for instance, or any other big cosmetics house. They remain themselves. So I'm waiting, I'm going up to her room, and then I'm going to meet her. Very excited. Can I just welcome you,
yes.
Alex Chantecaille,
yes.
to London. I mean,
yes.
we are right in the heart of London. We're actually opposite where I work. I've wanted to meet you for so long.
Oh, she's sweet.
I'm calling you the founder of Chantecaille, but you're one of the founder family. It was your mother's baby, wasn't it?
Daughter of, yeah, I'm one of the other babies that she's made, exactly. So Chantecaille is a family company. It's my sister, my father, my brother, even my brother-in-law, and my mother is at the heart of it. So we all work with her.
I know this has been said many times before. I interview a lot of people in this industry, and it always upsets me when I find that they've let go of that baby and it's taken on with a much larger conglomerate. This Chantecaille is Chantecaille. It remains in the family.
It really does. I think that's what makes it fun. Honestly, if it weren't ours, we probably wouldn't come to work. There's such a passion in what we have for it and such a respect that we have for each other that it's really engaging to stimulate one another with ideas and creative concepts, and to really have what my mom wants to do, which is to communicate the passion for health and good ingredients and naturals and what it can do for your skin, your body, your feeling of life and health and energy. And now her passion project is sort of segued into communicating animals and the need for maintaining wild spaces. So using the family company as almost a megaphone to highlight her passion projects is something that makes her come to work every day at 75. You know, she's passionate at running it, and all of us find new energy from her enthusiasm.
So everyone knows, I mean, I do an animal show once a week on the BBC. I'm passionate about animals, and I think your mother's very clever because she's always been a trailblazer. Yeah. If you think about your signature, which is rose water, which is what all of us bought into long before everyone else was putting flowers into fragrance. I think she said, I'm not putting words into your mouth, but she said, if I'm going to put water into a product, why not use rose water? So already you've added something. Can you just explain that?
Yeah, I think it makes it almost like a healing broth. You know, rose water itself has such beautiful scent, of course, but it also has really impactful ways of reducing redness and irritation. So you're already starting with this sort of calming broth, effectively, that reduces any discomfort and sort of tight skin. So the idea constantly around the brand is to cocoon and quell inflammation, and that really being the way in which you can address aging. Because if you're exhausting the skin all the time, you're making it do its job that much more effortfully, and so it can't rest. So if you can calm that and really reduce the irritation, you're already letting it heal. And then moreover, making the actual bulk of the cream from flower waxes. That was her other kind of light bulb moment of, aha, I have something here. So extracting the fat, so to speak, from the flower of jasmine, mimosa, and narcissus. And that becomes kind of the base, like the bulk, the emulsion of the cream. So it's really form and function. It's restorative, purifying, and healing at the same time.
Don't you love that expression, a soothing oil, a soothing brew, I think is the word, a soothing brew. I use the rose oil, and I've only just started using oils on my face. I want to talk about mature skin.
Yes.
So you don't have to act shocked, but I am 65. I know I look 65 because I toasted my face in Australia. But mature skin, would you say you need to treat it differently to, say, someone of your own age?
I think you need to give it some sort of TLC, as we say in the States, right? Tender, loving care, and treat it calmly and not sort of aggress it. And I think the more people do intensive peels and these laser treatments, you actually make it thinner and therefore more sort of conducive to absorbing pollution and the things that are really going to harm it. So having it sort of given a gentler is better. And I think it's a question of having soothing, certainly never any fragrance in your skincare, never any phthalates or petrochemicals or comedogenic, oils and things that are unnecessary, that are easier to digest when we're younger, but as we age and we get more sensitive, it's that much more difficult. So making sure that it's as clean as you can get as a product range. And also thinking about how you're using retinols, you know, is certainly having them be part of your regime, but not morning and night, and not being so intense with glycolic acids, and just not thinning the skin as much because it already has sort of lost some of its horny layer, and indeed letting it sort of keep its bounce. And I do think oils are a wonderful thing because it brings deep moisture and softens the texture of the skin, as well as gives it sort of more hydration. And we lose a lot of hydration as we get older and more stressed.
I think it's very interesting you use the word pollution. We are here in the heart of this city. Many of my followers live in London, but if not in cities all over the world.
Sure.
And I like you've always, I think for some time now, used anti-pollution, or a product that fights pollution in the skin. It is so important because this is filthy. I love London, but it's absolutely filthy. But I've never thought about that actually. The thinner your skin, the more pollutants it's going to absorb.
The more porous, you know? And so you want to kind of maintain and certainly giving it sort of. So what I love about our products is that they're very light, and at the same time can go deep into the skin as much as you can affect skin from the topical layer. And then also we really work on scientific things, sort of the anti-pollution, for example. It's been clinically proven to sort of produce a shield, so it's almost like sealing everything into your face so that none of the particulate matters that come from buses and cars and exhausts and factories can come into your skin. Because indeed those PMs have been proven to come in and affect mitochondria, open up the elasticity, reduce it, make the pores more gaping and open. So that's when you get a lot of these toxicities, and that's where you get really inflamed, irritated, and exhausted skin from within out.
Wow, you've told me more, literally in 15 seconds, than any makeup counter. But can we talk about makeup counters? I found Chantecaille because somebody bought me a Chantecaille facial at Phoenix.
Oh, lovely.
Which would have been 9 years ago.
Yeah.
There was a wonderful girl, I don't know where she is now, called Christine. Do you remember?
So sweet, yeah.
She was amazing. Good. So I became addicted to those facials, and also part of the deal was you got the products, you could redeem, the products. And now when I go into Phoenix, there's someone else that works on the Chantecaille counter. I don't know if Christine's behind the scenes. They are very embracing people. They're very accessible people. The reason I found you is I then went to Fortnum & Mason's to buy a shower cap, nothing to do with Chantecaille. But Chantecaille, the girl at the Chantecaille counter said, "Oh, look, can I show you this?" And I went, "But I know everything about Chantecaille." And she went, "Do you know the family are over here?"
Oh,
this was in the summer when we were trying to find you. And she went, "Don't worry, this is my email. I will do my best."
So sweet.
I will do my best so that you can meet the Chantecaille family.
Yeah.
How many other brands would do that? So do you audition the people that work for you? How do you find them?
Well, I think what I love about it is that we attract. I think you put out there, the law of attraction, right? You put out there what you get, and I think that echoes in the customers we get. So I think we attract really care-oriented people who connect to the fact that we're a family company and that we put a lot of consideration and authenticity behind our products, and they really do believe that what we launch is something that we think is missing, and that we wouldn't put just anything out there. We're not sort of constantly launching products just to please some shareholders. It's really what we think is needed. And so I think they like the fact that they can stand behind the product. So we really do find and we attract great people. We audition them, of course, but then I like to ask, what their knowledge is of antioxidants, and also what their knowledge is of basic skincare. But moreover, I like to ensure that they find a way to have a connection with the client, and to ask them not just how do you look in the mirror after the application, but how do you feel? Keep your eyes closed, because if it's uncomfortable, you're just going to go home and scrape it off. But if it's something you feel is lightweight, especially for someone who hasn't worn foundation, so I see a lot of women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s and 70s who are honest with me and like, I don't really wear foundation, and honestly, I don't know if I'm ready to, but I know I should, or what have you. And I'll show them the foundation and how lightweight it is. And so when they put it on, they're like, I don't even feel like I have it on. I have to look in the mirror to remember. So getting the girl at the counter to really connect on an emotional and a real, authentic way to the client so that she's listening to her. The other big thing I really want to challenge our team with is sort of listening to the client's needs and desires. But for example, if you come to my house and I say, are you thirsty, are you hungry, and you've just walked over into the countryside and come in, and you say, well, I could eat, but I'm dying of thirst, and if all I give you is a sandwich and I never give you the glass of water, you're like, did you listen to me? You didn't really hear me. And I'd like to do the same thing at the counter. So it's, what are you looking for today? And if it's them saying, well, I'm really dealing with these really dried out eyes and I feel like it's my crow's feet, and if I show you my eye cream first, I've really met that need. But if I just throw on a lipstick and some blusher because it's what I want to sell to you, you don't really feel heard. And so I really ensure that you're feeding her first need. You might sample and speak to the next thing that she can get, but really being heard, I think, is the most important thing in forming a relationship, in any relationship.
You're
right?
I don't want this girl to get into trouble, but do you know what happened at Fortnum? So you did a blusher, a refill. I love it. You know, in the little pot with the mirror in.
Yeah.
And my shade you discontinued, right?
Oh,
this is
sorry.
Everyone gets furious when and so when this lovely girl said, "Oh, I think I can," you know, when the Chantecailles are here, I'll try and find out if you can meet them. And I went, "Oh, brilliant!" And she said, "Why are you at the counter?" And I said, "Because of this blush." I went, "It's discontinued. I'm trying to find out the nearest match." And I got this battered old pot out that Nadine Baggett, do you know Nadine Baggett? She's a beauty blogger.
Okay.
She filmed me and she went, "How many years have you had this?" And I went, "Well, I'm down to the last
keeping
time."
a little
Absolutely.
dregs.
So this girl at Fortnum's opened a drawer. She went, "Okay, I have old stock." You'll probably make
Yeah.
She went, "I have got this. I have got this for you." And I was like leaping up and down, and she went, "I can let you have this for."
Sure.
Probably not, but a minimum of the price. She went, "There you go." She went, "We kept it back. There's 3 of them, actually.
So sweet.
You can have one, and there's bound to be 2 other women who are going to come in, so I'll hold it back." Now, I don't want her to get into trouble, but that was individual attention to a client. She didn't say, "Sorry, it's discontinued, I can do nothing about that."
Yeah.
Which makes me trust the brand, so that I will, when I've run out of this pot, I will try the colour that's the nearest match.
Yeah.
But that was down to somebody being so clever and making me feel she really cares.
I think it's a people business, you know, and I think the more digital we get with makeup, yes, people can replenish and they can maybe discover sometimes a brand online, but I think it's about feeling good, and I think the way in which someone sells it to you and listens to you really becomes your affiliation with the line. And it's always about making someone feel better when they walk out than when they walked in. And so it's very much a people business. And we're so intimate, right? We're touching people's faces.
Yeah.
Our products are in their bathrooms. I mean, and that's why we feel like we have any ability to have a conversation with them about philanthropy, because we're already in sort of a very intimate space. So I think it's not to be devalue that importance of the constant contact that we have at the counter. And I think brick and mortar still has a very important place in the industry because of that warmth we get. You know, I'm sort of the anti-Amazon. I know it's a little bit uncool, but I just really think that we want to go to cities. That's why we live in them, to talk to people, see people, have conversations, learn from each other. And if we lose that connection, we're just living alone in sort of high rises and just waiting for deliveries to come to the door.
So I'm nodding to everything you say, absolutely. Just finally, so I'd love to know your desert island must-haves. Mine is Vital Essence, because I love it, but I use it, and I tell me if I'm doing this properly. I'm sure Christine was the first person that sold me Vital Essence, is I put a moisturiser on top of it. That's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly
because
serum.
And it just seals it in. It's just wonderful.
Yeah.
Just Skin, so tinted moisturiser. I don't use a foundation, I use a tinted moisturiser. I have to have an SPF because obviously I wander around London. Your lipstick, which I'm wearing at the moment, which has a brown in it because I've got hazel eyes, it brings out the hazel in my eyes. The blusher, I'm trying to say, the rose oil. These are, and I could go on and on. Actually.
I know, right? It's
but I don't want people to think I need so much to get me up in the morning. But what for you are your desert island must-haves?
I think the rose water is something that you just can't live without. And when you travel on a plane or anywhere where it's hot or humid, and you can wear it over makeup, and it's almost like putting lip balm on dry lips rather than just licking dry lips. It really does give you hydration. And it's also something that you can take a breath with if you've had a hard conversation at the office or a difficult one on the phone. You just sort of hang up, you breathe. It opens your heart chakra and it really calms you and settles you. So it's really lovely. And then also, I wear a Future Skin in particular. I think it's really wearable. It's something that you can have control over in terms of how much you want. So I'm not like a perfect sort of chin to forehead girl. I like to just sort of have more coverage where I want it. And it's very breathable and, again, very comfortable. And 60% water, so it drives a lot of moisture, and has green tea, so it helps with antioxidant sort of protection. And for skincare, I really wear the rose cream. with a touch of the bioserum underneath. So I like the lightness of the rose cream that helps with sort of redness and smoothing the texture, and then the bioserum. So I'm sort of going top to down.
do.
But the bioserum is sort of the scientific powerhouse that has raspberry stem cells that help build collagen and really plumps up little crow's feet and helps with the really difficult vertical lines that are harder to kind of what people use fillers for, I guess. It's very softening and soothing, and it has that sort of algal tensing that lifts also instantly, so you're smoothing the surface of the skin. It's sort of Vital Essence plus. It's
We're going to put a link below of all these products that Alex has mentioned, and also some cutaways, so you'll see some of them as well. I just want to finish with I suppose you can never become complacent. You've got to, as you say, the whole animal, the whole embracing of, I love that you've gone from like botanics, so you've ticked that, and now you're moving on to the animal thing, which of course I'm a massive animal lover. Is that your future? What is your future for 2020?
Yeah. Well, we really kind of synthesized what we're about and have a lot of sort of blue sky thinking lately. And so we've come up with the distillation of our tagline, which is wild about nature. And with that, really, I think it does hit on those tenets you're speaking of, that it's wild about natural ingredients, it's wild about a natural, touchable French aesthetic, and it's wild about nature in terms of giving back to it. So that really encompasses our focus and our passion. So it's very much the idea that we're on one planet, and so yes, if we're using and borrowing the resources, it's only right that we would give back to them as well. And we would love to be able to megaphone these issues that, very few people actually get to go on safari or to have access to these animals. So if we can show them the animals and bring them to life through the products and the stories and the compacts, and also moreover through technology. So I don't know if you've had a chance to play with our Wild Beauty app. But my mother had this offsite with Damon Aspinall in Tuscany last year, and came out of it was a really brilliant idea to go beyond zoos and to create augmented reality animals. So the app, I'll show you in a moment, you can bring a giraffe, you can bring a lion, you can bring a rhinoceros into the space, and you can have it walking down central London with you or in your home, and you can take a picture with it. And the idea is that every time you post it to social media, we'll increase our donations even further towards that charity.
There are lots of things. George, who's the cameraman, looked at me because I am going on safari in 2 weeks' time, and I needn't have gone. I could just sit here in W1. But I will definitely look at that. We must finish here. Can I just say this is an absolute joy. I've waited probably 6 years to meet you.
Oh, you're so
But also,
sweet.
can you send my love to your mother?
I shall,
because I mean this in every sense. I believe your mother is a true feminist.
Yes.
And I love the fact, I've watched loads of interviews with her. She's never lost the softness to that. Because often we women can... we can become very brittle because we've had to kick indoors to get there. But she has this real softness to her. And I love the thought she's got an app that I can have a giraffe walking down the street with me. So will you send her my love?
Yes, of course I will. It's so kind of you. It's such an honor to be able to spend some time with you as well. Thank you
Alex,
very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my God.